Freeze before it was. Okay.
It just stays in
I know since it's sad, they're gonna be like, let's do it.
You're like, no.
Okay.
Nice full house to see me screw up tonight. Thanks, guys.
I will be fine.
All right. Let's stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. See, I'm already messed up. Let's raise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have to be sworn in first, and then we can call the order, basically. I know, too bad Todd's not here bossing us around.
I know, right? We should be. Miss Annie Compton, would you like to repeat your oath?
I think so. I, Annie Compton, do hereby solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas and faithfully discharge the duties of mayor for the city of Eskridge, Kansas, so help me God.
Yay, Annie! Joe Frederick, can you stand, please? Would you read your oath to office?
Sure. I, Joseph L. Frederick, do hereby solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas and faithfully discharge the duties of City Council Member for the City of Eskridge, Kansas, so help me God.
Come on, please.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
it's an art. That's okay.
That's an original.
That way I know it's the original.
That makes sense.
Mr.
I, Donald R. Support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of faithfully discharge the duties of City Council Member for the City of Eskridge, Kansas, so help me God.
I don't. No, she does that part.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, God, jeez. I thought you were going to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no year on it.
I'm going to call to order this meeting, the Eskridge City Council of December 8th. I'm going to do roll call vote. Joe? You say here. Payday?
Here.
Brett?
Here.
Jason?
Here.
Okay. Does anybody have any additions for the agenda at this time?
I would like to add, probably on new city business, Dawn, when you talk about the housing authority.
Whoops. Under new city.
Any other additions to the agenda? I guess I do need to fill my seat, so I don't know if we need to add that or if I just bring it up. Let's put that before department reports.
Why don't we just do it now? That way
Okay. I'd like to recommend Clay Camlin to fill my seat. You guys do need to vote this in, so somebody would need to make a motion. That's my recommendation.
I move to approve, Clay.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Jason and then Payday. Any other discussion? Okay, the motion is to put Clay Camlin in the 5th council seat. No.
I do have one of these right here.
Oh,
Go ahead and do it.
okay, with no more discussion, we can vote. Those in favor? 4. All in favor?
Do you want to swear
Okay.
in?
Do you want to go ahead, come up, Clay, and we'll swear you in. So, obstacle course.
Okay, thank you. Like to read your oath of office?
Absolutely. And I'll put my actual official full name in there. I, Clayton Camlin, do hereby solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and faithfully discharge the duties as City Council member for the City of Eskridge, Kansas. So help me God.
Social on you?
Yeah. Thank you.
Any further additions to the agenda? I'll entertain a motion.
Go for it.
No, you go.
I move to adopt the agenda for the evening
With that
with,
addition.
with those additions.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda with those additions. All in favor? 5. Brett. Okay, we got multiple minutes tonight, so let's do one at a time. Starting with October 27th, they have been adjusted from the last meeting, so hopefully we're
I still want more information than what we got, Becky. I mean, it's very vague, and I'd like Lisa's letter or Lisa's statement included in the minutes as well that she read.
Which one? There's
Is
three of
that
them.
that one?
on the October 27th
27th.
meeting.
Is that what we're on, October 27th?
I could have it written down wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is that one.
We have more minutes besides November 24th in this packet. I don't have any other ones that didn't print out.
We have October 27th
To November 10th.
to November 10th.
Right, I understand that's what's on there, but I've never seen them.
I emailed them to you.
They were in a separate email
Yeah,
to you.
they were in the email, but they wouldn't print out.
Oh, okay. Is it okay if I show you?
Sure, are they in here? This
Yeah,
part?
they're all back to back. So they're,
I haven't read them yet, that's what I'm getting at, because they
everything
wouldn't
in
print
your
out.
packets in order of,
I know that,
Okay.
I just,
so here's the first one,
okay, so
and
they are in here,
second one, yeah, and I think
okay. Well, I really question whether should be approving them, but I don't see any other choice with this many new members. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
We could give more time to watch the video back and
I mean, it doesn't need to be to the extensive point that you had it, Becky, but just some else. And then like the letter that Lisa had written in that statement, and then if you move to the November 10th, Carrie had a statement too. That as well. And the November 24th one, I would like Terry's final statement to be put in there as well. That you read.
as far as I'm concerned, the Roberts Rules of Order dictate that just the motions should be recorded in the minutes. So really what we have here is more than we should. It does put the city at greater liability, the more information we include in this. I don't know what the rest of the council's opinion is,
I
but
would
that's
agree
mine.
with that.
The problem is when you go back, you can't get anything out of the minutes. So just for example, things that have been going on right now, the minutes have been very valuable as far as what people have said and done, and they've been very helpful to prove points. So when we take that out and we don't have that, then I think it puts us in a bad spot. And like I said, that was extremely detailed, and I don't think that they need to be that extremely detailed. But I also think that any of the five of us that request to have something put in there, that we should be able to do it, especially if it was said and was taking place in the meeting. I mean, I don't want you to word for word quote everybody, go down the line, do any of that. And like I said, that's my opinion.
So you think
And
it's just
if-
specific requests for more detail?
Right.
Can I also say I have figured out how to save the recordings in the files. So each folder, each meeting I had a folder. So you can always go back and listen to those also. And will you repeat? You want Lisa's statement on October 27th. What did you say about November 10th?
Carrie Schaefer on November 10th and Terry on November 24th.
Well, I, for one, if you add that, would like to have a copy of it before we approve it. I'm not gonna approve it on I said I want that in there, but I definitely wouldn't vote for that.
Well, generally we don't. She would draw it up and then she would email it back to us and we would approve it. Like we wouldn't be generally approving anything that hasn't been written up and we haven't read.
So you want to table them all again to the next meeting?
Yeah. And
So-
that gives payday time to also read them.
So,
Well, not just me, I think everybody ought to not be able to read them, but see what's in there.
Correct.
so
I was just meaning
We
that you
weren't
didn't
even
get a
at
chance
those
to even read the
meetings.
meetings. the
You
minutes
guys, I'm gonna
tonight.
be right honest with you. You sat there with your hand over your mouth like that when you're talking half the time. People out here can't even hear it. So I sure couldn't hear it, and I don't suppose anybody else did either. So I would like to at least see it in writing before we
in the,
vote on it.
in the interest of brevity, I move to table all three sets of meeting minutes to the next meeting.
I second. Or do I go
You know,
ahead?
that means we're gonna have 4 next meeting.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think we should also think about what we are actually going to follow, because if we're not really following Robert's Rules of Order, then we need to find out what we are really following, because that's what the meeting has been run by since I've been on and before.
My professional experience is Roberts is what you follow. It is also absolutely acceptable. I mean, see it on councils all over the place where people ask for something to be included in the minutes. So there's nothing wrong with that either. But Roberts should be, in my opinion, Roberts should be what we follow.
So we had a motion and Joe's second, or
Go ahead. It's first one.
all in favor? Appropriation ordinance 1538 is a roll call vote, so you will be called on and you need to say yay or nay.
I have some questions on it. You have to bear with me because I think these meetings need to be discussed. We're coming in for 5 minutes and going on. On the Exodus, we have expenses down there. We have no income to do that too. And then also on the, I realize the income's not on this sheet. I'd just like to have that would like to figure out some way to program this thing so we can look at those types of things. State treasurer, I'm assuming that's on the $95,000 bond that I thought I was told they were paying $40,000 or $45,000 a year on. on that utility bond, but they're paying 67 here. Is that plus interest or what is that?
That's the gas loan, baby.
That's what.
That's the 10-year gas loan. She's
But you told me once there's a $95,000 balance on that.
water bond.
On water bonds, and what's this for?
That's the gas. The Winter Storm Uri, the $1 million loan that we took out.
For that overcharge back in February of that month? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I
There's
got you.
I believe 2 payments a year.
Okay, good enough. I
Yes.
didn't say what that was for. That's the reason I
Yeah,
wondered
that's
what
the
that was
gas
for.
loan.
Okay. And then on the Topeka landscape, is that part of the Turnbull money or is that in addition to?
It's the Trumbull money.
Okay, is that included in your updated budget?
I mean, I don't know.
You can't spend it.
Right.
Did he give it
I
to,
mean-
did they give it to the city or are they paying for it up front without it going through our
The
budget?
check was paid to the city.
It was made to the city.
Okay, so you've got a 13,000 according to my notes from the Turnbull fund and you're spending 69.73 of it now.
And we have to amend the budget, so
Okay, is it in the amended budget?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
The first half was paid when they started,
Yeah.
and then the check was received, and then this is the second half.
And that
Okay.
But it's
Can-
zeroed it, basically.
good enough.
Kansas
Thank you.
State Treasurer says utility loan payment. Do
Yeah.
you want that worded differently? I mean,
Utility loan
it says
could
utility
be,
loan payment.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
how it comes from the state treasurer's office.
I wasn't sure, I'm
But now
verifying
you
what it's
know,
for, is
so it's
all I'm
okay?
doing. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you, Becky. Yeah.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Yeah, it's a roll call vote. So Joe?
Move approve.
No, just say yes.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Payday,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
and Clay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna screw people's names up now.
Turn his little things towards that.
Right? This time, the floor is open for public concerns or comments. There is a 5-minute time limit per, just as a reminder, try to stick to that if you can.
I have something I'd like to say. Could you put that for me, please? Yes, ma'am.
Michelle, Jocko,
On the table.
Okay, and this is addressed to Becky. I have a question, Becky. Why did you quit sending me emails, but continued to send them to Terry and Tim?
Well, do you want to
And,
answer?
Hmm?
Go ahead.
okay, and was it that you were just inept at your job, or was it a passive aggressive dig at me?
Passive aggressive dig.
Okay. And I think you need to review your job description, because during the meetings that I attended and was on with, you seem to be confused about what your duties are, because you attempted to continually lead the meetings and overtalk the mayor, which he didn't seem to be concerned about, but I thought that was inappropriate. And I didn't remember talking over the mayor and trying to lead the meetings as being one of the clerk's duties. So you might want to go through your job description. And you might want to benefit from anger management training, because case in point, you have cursed a council member on more than one occasion, and at least twice that I know of. And after the meeting, you felt the need to chastise me for missing meetings And it was behind my back, of course. And in front of 2 other council members, you did that. And I strongly suggest, if you're going to curse and make derogatory remarks, as you called me the drama queen, you might want to turn off the camera first. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I have one thing,
Speaking
please.
of the cameras and the recordings, I go through them multiple times to do the minutes, and not once have I sworn on them. If you would like to bring it up and show it to me, I would apologize.
Well, unless
But
you
I have
erased
not.
it.
Okay. And case in point, drama queen.
It was under conclusion.
So do you feel better?
I just want to point out to you that you have many shortcomings.
We all do.
Yes, we do. But yours is very public.
Thank you.
For the sake of the meeting, let's continue. I think Marcia was gonna stand up.
I just had a question on the gas bill, not the gas bill, water part, the utility bill. And when it came in, I usually am the one that look at them and I file them, and I didn't look at it right away. And it was noticed that it was cheaper. And when I looked at it, it's because I did not have a water charge. So I came down, checked with Becky. She went through it. She thought maybe she made a mistake. She did not. It said on the paper, couldn't find the meter. Electric meter. So anyway, it evidently didn't work. And so I asked Becky to have them come and read the meter for me so that I know what to pay, because I don't really want to have a double water bill next month. And so she sent a text out to one of the guys, and they came and read it, which is great, except when they left, I got one of these in my window. This is what I got, that. Now, I don't think that's very appropriate. And I didn't say anything nasty to them. I didn't go out and bother them. I didn't do nothing. I just asked so I could pay the bill and get a reissue to pay what I owe this month and then pay what I owe next month. So I'm making a formal complaint because you said I have to do that. It has to be in writing or in person. And I want something done about that, because I don't know why I got that through my kitchen window. I'm in my kitchen working, actually making soup for supper. So I started early, and I look out, they're done, and this is what I got. Now that meter's been in that same spot for 50 years. And I even cleaned it out, because in the old days, they had to dig the mud off of it every time it rained. So it's all landscaped, so no problem. So, and I would appreciate being let know what has been done to handle that issue.
Thank you.
Is the floor open?
Excuse me. Becky, I think you're doing a fine job, just for the record.
Thank you, Judy.
And I drove down here to come to.
Can you hold on 1 second so I can finish?
Sure.
Hold on.
Way to go, you know, I'll lose my train of thought.
That's what I just did. Wasn't ready yet, sorry. Julie,
Okay.
thank you.
Anyway, thank you, doing a good job. And on my way down here, I seen that the Christmas wreaths were out. So I looked at them, and the first one had a bulb that wasn't lit. There's, mind you, 3 bulbs that need replaced in those each year, or they need to check and make sure whether they work or not. Out of all of our Christmas wreaths, one had the lights, the 3 lights in the candlesticks. Some of them had 2 out. Some of them, lots of them had 1. So, you know, I mean, there's only 3 light bulbs in there. plugging them in and checking them before you stick them on our poles ought not be a bad idea to do.
They are in need of probably repair and replacement at this point. I think we've been talking for years. Brett and I both have been mentioning that they need to be replaced entirely. Any other public comments or concerns at this time? Darren?
So
Rowland?
I live at 105 North Main, and I've been kind of on the treads about this sidewalk project. Because I've asked to have some people come talk to me about things, and yeah, they came and talked to me, and I even asked the contractors to have the person that was spearheading the community to have them come talk to me so I can know what's going on. Because all I got was a stupid letter, and yeah, come to the meetings, blah blah blah. All right, end of that story. What I was wanting to know is, so I'm seeing all of the work being done on the sidewalks, and I see that my driveway had a piece of sidewalk through it. And you go on down, then Drew Kemp's had a sidewalk through his one side of his driveway on his shed. And you get down to Deb Keeley's, and then you get down further down to Mr. Jocko's, and the other guy that lives on the corner by the whatever historic thing. Are they just waiting for the weather to get more horrible, or waiting for somebody to see if they're going to put concrete through their driveway, or what's the holdup with that? Is that something that they're going to come back to, or they just haven't gotten to it yet? I was concerned about that, because I have to go through all over the driveway, sidewalk, go back and forth. Then also, it doesn't leave all of us any room to park our vehicles and have guests over without parking on the sidewalk or parking in my grass, just like Michelle Jocko and everybody else down the drive. So I have to park all their relatives and all their guests and the grass and in the driveway. Well, that's a different subject. So, who gave them, the contractors, permission to drive a concrete truck on my property to lay the concrete? Because they run it up my yard, I fixed it, and then they backfilled the backside of it on my property and made it nice and level, kind of. And also, I want to know, is that something to do the grass, to replant the grass that was there after they tore their yard up? Is that something I'm going to have to pay for to get fixed? Or if they're going to come in, like the city or the and reseed my yard? That's all I have for now.
Are the other driveways going to have the sidewalk go through? I think that's what he was asking.
Yes. So they stopped at Deb Keeley's because we have to put the bridge in, and they're gonna tie that concrete at the same time that they do the bridge, because we don't know if the state's gonna need to do anything in there as far as the ravine before the bridge goes in, whatever. As far
They didn't
as
stop at Deb Keeley's. They went through my front yard and was driving a cement truck through my front yard.
I don't think
you're a
any of
little
us
excitable
can
tonight,
permission to
Michelle,
do that.
so
Well,
if
you
you
promised.
would just let me
I've been
finish.
trying to get a letter for the last 4 or 5 months, and you kept saying, yeah, you would. And I still have yet to get a letter.
We haven't got one letter about this project.
Nope.
I find that hard to believe when everybody else got a letter.
Well, that may be passive aggressive on
Everybody
your
at
part.
this time is with the sidewalk.
Was the house in transportation?
You are the first. Your group is the first to ever receive a letter with the work that we've done.
I
That
never
is
got
at my request, by the way. So you will send an initial letter. That's why Darren initially came to the first meeting he came to, which was at the senior center. You sat on this council, so you should be very well aware of the updates that I've given at the meetings.
No, I was
And,
not told where it would go through my yard,
It's not your yard, it's on the easement.
and I was not told that I was going to have a cement truck driving through my yard where I had flowers planted.
I'm the same way too. I wasn't told that a concrete truck was going to be in my yard either. If they would have asked me, I would have been, all right, yeah, maybe you can go to that. But they have long enough chutes to go across the ditch and on the city street side. There's no way and no reason why they should have been in my yard. Would they,
Darren,
would you?
I would
you
like
allow
to
them be in your
address
yard?
you in your driveway. If you would print up a map of that area, that's not even your driveway that you use. That's Mike Callison's driveway. You have no
it's not.
entrance.
Nope.
Sally,
have
did
a-
you not print me off
I
that
have
map?
a survey pin right in the middle of the driveway.
Did you?
Darren, you need to bring me a copy of your survey
I
because
just
according to
printed it
our
out.
maps and county map, part of that is Mike's.
Part of it's mine.
All of it.
No, not all of it,
I wish I
Brad.
had.
If you
In
pay to
my
get a
files,
survey,
I was
I
looking
will
for it.
tell you that it is right in the middle of that driveway. It's my survey pin. And I even had the survey through the county appraisal office.
Please send that to Sally.
Okay. I will do that. I don't have phone service in here, but I will get it.
It's known as the sidewalk to nowhere.
The sidewalk to know it's going to the nursing home so that
How's
the
it gonna
nursing
get over
home
Monty Hayes'
residents
place?
do not
What was
put
that?
themselves in danger
Is
crossing the
Monty-
road on the
has
corner.
Monty
Like,
Hayes given you permission?
you know,
Never mind, I shouldn't be talking.
Okay, yeah,
you
let's,
can go in
let's
front of that
stick in one
if you've,
topic,
if
please.
you've walked it. Jason has actually walked the entire thing with me. Is it doable? And is it
It's doable without going through Monty's place.
okay? So
the ditch?
now you can
Yeah,
believe
it'll
Jason.
be on the ditch side.
It's
Because there's
all
quite
out
a gap
there.
between the actual ditch and his vent flood.
So which way is it gonna go then?
So it's going to go through the front edge of his pasture on the inside of the fence, and then it'll go out and in front of Monty Hayes's on the ditch side, all the way to the home from there.
Out by the highway,
Yeah. The whole thing's following the edge of the highway anyway.
followed on state,
Except for
city
the-
and state easement
Yeah.
there.
It's all on easements. And we did approve this project in March or April. So it's not like it's something that has just come up. I mean, it's been months and months. I've given updates. There's been rain delays. There's been work delays. Everybody received a letter. Everybody had more than enough time to come in. And I find it a little foolish to come in and start chastising somebody and trying to point fingers now. Like, it just amazes me.
What I'm upset about is I asked numerous times, everybody, for you to come talk to me, and you drive by my house, and you have right next to mine.
Let's
You
talk
still
about
wanna
that,
talk
Darren
to me.
Rowley. You have communicated with me multiple times over a dog from the house next door through Messenger, and suddenly Messenger isn't how you can communicate with me. I've also communicated with your wife through there.
That was
If you wanted to
numerous
reach
years
out
ago,
to
not
me
current.
at any point in time,
Why are we bringing
you
up
know
things
how to
that-
get in touch with me. That could have happened.
Why are you bringing up things in the past? That was 4 years ago.
I think we would all benefit from just a little more communication because there were some delays, and I had several people asking me about when the new start date, and this was after the second delay, I believe. So it would have been helpful just to have another date.
Come in like 5, 6,
I didn't know the
times
last date.
updating people.
What we're talking about.
I didn't have all the
sidewalk, I do have a
information. I couldn't
question
share
about
it.
though.
Mhm.
The 20,000 that was appropriated in the minutes back whenever how far does that take it?
What do you mean?
The
The
sidewalk.
20,000 for the sidewalk, how far does that take?
It's
the sidewalk?
actually, it was 23, and I believe that it's the actual cost is gonna be, I just had that,
It was in the appropriations.
21 something.
960.
All the way to the nursing home?
No, that just
That's what
goes,
I'm asking.
it
How far
goes
does it go?
to the
With that
NSSP
money.
park.
It goes to the park
Yes.
area, but it
And
don't
then-
include
no.
the bridge.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Does not include the
I
bridge
was
or the
curious how far
extension
that
from the other
money
part,
took
because
it.
we didn't have the money and the 1% sales tax, because we used a significant amount of that for
So
other.
in your
things in
opinion,
the
how
park.
much more time will we need before it's completed to get that
Hopefully in
built
the
up?
spring of this year. We should hopefully have about 30 to 40,000 in there, which should cover the extension of the sidewalk and the bridge. So it should be finished this spring. And that's always how we have to do stuff. Because we have to go by what we have in the 1%.
No, I understand. I just
yeah.
wondered how far it was taken at this point.
Mhm.
Okay.
And did you had a sidewalk put in front of your place? Did you get a courtesy letter?
No.
Okay. So that I mean,
And I paid for fixing the grass too.
So I got.
No, they won't give you any money for any of that.
So, how long do I have to get this survey to you so you can look at it? Just make sure that's my driveway and part of his driveway. Because I have it, I just don't have service in this building to get it printed off to get show you. Next meeting?
sure, bring it in.
Okay.
Or when you get home, just send it to Sally.
Okay.
She can get us all a copy of it.
Okay, I could probably go home and get it and send it to her right now. And then,
Just give us time to look at it.
Okay. Any further public concerns or comments at this time?
Right?
Sally, they getting quick doing this.
All right, we're gonna move on to department reports. Lisa Cernich.
Copy of the amended. Should all have a copy of the amended budget. I asked the auditor to prepare this. That's the treasurer's report, Joe.
Okay.
So, no, yeah, this is what you're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and if you want to catch for some budget, reading how the budget, stop by sometime. Anyway. So the lake fund, the employee benefit fund, and the water fund do not have enough budget authority to finish out the year. And so, I talked with the auditor. We're increasing the lake fund by 45,000, which would allow the Turnbull deal as well as the curbing. Is that what I would call it, out of the lake?
I'm confused. You keep mentioning the Turnbull Foundation donation?
Well, but we have to use, we pay for that out of the lake fund, so that goes against our budget authority.
But we have already received the donation.
But we're
We can't
paying
do
out
any-
of the lake.
Okay, can we not deposit that check into that fund to cover
You
the,
can't spend it any without budgeting it.
oh, okay,
Yes, we deposited it into the lake fund,
okay.
but you still have that limit on how much you can spend.
Authority, I'm sorry, I'm thinking.
Budget
just
authority.
Yeah,
Yes, the cash is okay. It's the budget authority
Yeah.
that we have to increase.
And what are the two main problems causing this?
Well, wasn't debaters doing the curbing out at the lake? So we had to increase the budget authority because your budget authority in the lake fund was 160 and you've spent 155 so far at the end of 2025. At the end
So
of
we're
November.
using most of that.
So, do you have any capital outlay in the general fund, or is it
There's no capital outlay, huh?
no capital outlay? So you created capital outlay for the lake fund to spend that?
That's just part of the cash.
I understand that, but
I don't think they have.
so
the
you never
auditors
had
have
any
never-
capital outlay before?
Mm-mm.
That's interesting.
So anyway, and your employee benefit fund, two things. Your budget authority was 74,150. You spent 70,551. Your average monthly expense in the employee benefit fund is $7,100. The employee benefit fund covers your insurance premium, your capers, and your Social Security, Medicare taxes. So it's low on cash too, so the auditor suggested transferring about 6,000 additional from the gas fund because it's got plenty of budget authority and cash available to get us through December. And then the water, the water fund budget authority is, because that average is about 33,000 is the average expenses in the water fund. And so you only had like $9,800 left there. So they've increased that to allow an additional 25,000 for this year. So
I have a question on that. Explain this transfer out of 90,000. Where'd that go to?
let me see. Part of it goes to like the, I'd have to get the detail for the rest of the pages payday, but part of it goes to the bond and interest, and then employee benefits. I'd have to grab the detail from the original budget.
Into this employee benefits on the employee benefit part.
Yeah.
But you only transferred $6,000.
It's to get it. Are you talking about the 6,000 to get us through the rest of this month?
No, I'm talking about the 6,000 that's being on your budget to increase your expenses so you can spend the money. You put $6,000 in there to cover the 5865 additional expenses on your employee benefits, insurance, additional
Well, they're just increasing.
thing to do to overtime, you know, your withholdings and Social Security and all that stuff increases because you can't guess how much your all that is. So you transferring $6,000 in there to cover this 5865. I understand all that, but I don't understand where this $90,000 is going out of the water fund.
Well, it's already been, I'll grab that after we're done, because that's already been transferred. Part of it was to the bond and interest fund. Part of it was to employee benefits, but I would have to go get the detail from the original budget. I mean, that's already been taken care of. They're just increasing the proposed budget from 325,000, or excuse me,
420.
from 420,000 to 446,000. But the timing is crucial because you need to do it before the end of the year.
No, I understand that.
And
I'm just a
the
little,
newspaper deadline
yeah,
is today in
I'm
order
just-
to hold the
I'm just a
hearing on
little,
the 22nd of
I'm just a
December.
little gray area here on why you transfer 90,000 out of the water fund, then increase, you increase it by 26.
Yeah,
I don't get that part.
I'll get the detail here in a little bit,
Okay.
and I'll share that to where it was actually transferred to.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
So do we need to make a motion then
to set the hearing for the budget amendment on 7:00 on December 22nd.
I'll move to set the budget hearing for 7:00 on
December 20th.
December 22nd.
Second. Go ahead. Jake.
Motion by Brett to set the budget hearing, or amendment hearing,
Budget hearing, yeah.
just budget hearing,
Uh-huh.
for December 22nd at 7 p.m. Seconded by who was the one that Jason. Any further discussion at this time? I would. All in favor? I'm so sorry. 5, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, 5.
I'll get that detail for you later.
So what do you have to do to pay attention?
Just open it and then you put it in.
So the work should have been done.
Yeah, there's some auditors too.
And I did bring clean copy. I should have, I'll have that copy.
Okay.
So signature.
Okay. Sally Davis, public officer.
Okay, y'all should got a copy of the permanent structure for Carl Williams on the enclosed breezeway. By the time you put it in, they already had it halfway done. And I told him that you're supposed to put the permanent in before you start, but as you can see in the pictures, sorry, black and white, it's pretty well done. It's done by now.
So you get any more money if you put it in early and they put it in now?
No,
Time viewpoint. I move we approve it.
I'll second.
A motion by
that's
Day
something you
to
guys need to
approve
discuss, but I like your
I
idea.
understand.
a penalty fee. Motion by Payday to approve, building permit 421 East First Street, seconded by Brett. All in favor? Payday, are you voting? You put the are you in
Oh,
favor?
sorry.
You put the motion in, I assume you're probably
I was
on.
reading on down things about the next thing already. Sorry.
You're good. That was it, Sally. Yeah.
Well, Clay and Joe and Payday, sorry, I don't have your email addresses. So I'll have to
We'll
get
get it to you.
those.
It's all right.
These to you already.
All right, under new city business, authorized bank signatures. I think we need to move to remove. Isn't that
I
right?
move to remove Terry, Michelle, and Ken.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, motion by Brent to remove Terry Cook, Tim Wines, and Michelle Jocko from the authorized bank signature. Second by Jason. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor? Unanimous. And then decide who wants to sign checks. And I need to be added because I can't get out of it now.
It'd be great if it'd be somebody who's
Payday should be one of them.
yeah, because he lives right here in town. I could call him.
I don't care. I mean, I can.
Getting voluntold over there.
Do what
I'll
now?
be the other
You're
one.
getting voluntold over there.
Are you making that motion?
That's
I'll
fine.
move to make payday and I to add us.
And you need to put me on as well.
Annie, sorry.
Second. It becomes a race and it's kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah.
You're good at that. I have a question. real quick.
Mhm.
In the minutes, is payday, do you want payday or do you want Don Rush?
Donald R.
You want me to put Donald R anytime I refer to you in the minutes?
I mean, I don't care how you put it in the minutes, but on that signature card, it needs to be a legal signature.
Right, all right, but I mean the minutes, you don't care
No,
about
I
the
don't
minutes. Okay.
I guess you better put his nickname at the top of the paper then, or however. Wherever we put those names on. Okay. Motion, I'm sorry, I forgot who motioned now. Brett. And seconded by Jason to add Donald Rush, Brett Kimball, and myself to the signers for the checks for the city. All in favor? It's unanimous. I can't multitask apparently. Okay, now we are on the permit office contracts. We've received 2. One from the current or 2025, which is Julie Biznett, and then John Walker is the other. They do look very similar. So there's pretty subtle differences.
So basically, we're looking at bids here.
These are bids for the 2026 year, yes.
That's all we're taking into consideration. Everything else is the same.
At this time, if you, yeah, the hours aren't changing. I'm sorry, what are you asking for?
It should have the price that they're asking, the range, right?
Yeah, it does.
It'll be hard because simply you your bonuses, so I added 15.
So basically it's the same. Well, this is what I mean by that. So last year's contract was 28,500. The additional person that put in for a contract did $100 less than that, so that's 28,400. And this year Julie increased hers $1,500 to
That's the way I read it, yes.
right to 30,000. Because we had priorly told her that we wouldn't do bonuses anymore because we usually gave the base shop operator bonuses or had in the past, and we stopped, or we said we were going to stop that last
Let me,
year.
Trying to make sure
put
that
my
it's
notes here for that.
So just for clarification, on Julie's, the number that she has, in the proposal, it needs to have the 1,500 added. Am I hearing that correct?
Yes, that's the way I understand it.
It should be added unless you didn't get,
I thought I already had added it.
she had. If it's not in there, then yes, Clay, it does need to be added.
Well,
But she has talked to us about it
This is
from the
April.
phone. I think that you might have been at that meeting. But yes, so she had told us already that she increased it $1,500 from the 28 to the 30.
okay, but it doesn't say that in the contract.
No, it's a note attached to it.
Right.
Clay. Yeah, it don't say it in the contract. It's hers the same way I'm reading it anyway. Hers the same contract last year, just attached a note to it.
No, we'd have to change that. I don't think.
Right, we'd have to change it.
That's all I had on hand.
It's that way because she was in the hospital and she just had that done so that she would have it turned in.
I do have a question here on part of the contract though. that,
I do too.
Says here, this supply the city hall with a monthly sales report of all goods sold. Now, is all goods sold just the city portion or is that their portion? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking that. because I think, and I just throwing it out here so you can be thinking about it for this whole year till next year. I think it'd be a possibility the city could operate this thing themselves. But, and not knowing how much is going through there
In total.
in total, my question is, what does that amount to? We'd have to have something to base it on to see if more cost effective to operate it ourselves.
So Julie, you run the Firefly and that, so the
Yes.
city has access to your total sales of
Oh, their stuff.
their stuff,
Their
not your
point of
stuff.
sale, right? Their fishing permits, their camping
Right, I
stuff,
mean,
the boat.
I
permit.
understand all of
My
that,
sales, no,
and
nobody
I
has.
understand that the business is beside the point, that that's totally up to them.
Right.
But
My
you have
question-
divulged that information to us before
Well,
we've asked.
it's.
I guess
it's on my tax paper.
Question is if it's not being turned in what they're actually selling through, which is their business, which is, I understand that. Why is this in there? Why is that in the contract? What is that all about? It says all goods sold.
I thought that was just to be the city's goods and the city's goods only.
I think actually it was changed. That was part of the reason that we adopted Firefly, so it was all run through that system. Because that was the question, was how much do they actually make?
Right.
But we're not
Necessarily
running,
agree with that.
but we're not running everything through.
No, they actually run their things separately.
I
So
think
that's
the
never
reason why I
happened.
did that is because we got wildly vast different numbers of what a person made out there, from $30,000 to $5,000, and there was no way to know, to gauge like how much we're paying. You know what I mean? So
Speaking of vastly different numbers, both of these contracts say 8 months, monthly payments for that total. And April 1st through October 31st is only 7.
Right, we get one the 1st of November.
yes, they get one in the 1st of November as well.
For what? Because that's a free payment, basically. They're not being paid for any month then. We close in November.
It's not free, it's just not added in with the other ones either. I mean, it's just
Right.
You're
That's
getting paid for 8 months for only 7 months of work is what I'm trying to determine.
no, it was the price, and it's broken down into 7 payments. That's how it is.
This is
I
eight- this is
agree
8
that
payments.
I agree that that payment should be divvied through the other 7 payments, but unfortunately, that's not how we've done it. It's always been the 8 payments. But I'm not disagreeing with you.
But
We
we're
can
not,
absolutely change
we're
that.
not ready on April 1st either. There's some time that goes in to, getting all the stuff, getting it all set up. And in October, it takes probably at least 2 weeks to undo.
So do they get their very first payment on April 1st?
So we're counting time ahead and after. And I think that needs to be in the contract, right?
Because they're supposed to be there. Julie wasn't able to be there to be working until 2 days before because we had taken her computer and stuff this last year, but she's supposed to be there and didn't have the water on, so she couldn't clean. So she is supposed to be there like around the 15th. Usually they would go in around the 15th of March, get everything ready to open up on the 1st of April. Then when they close on the 31st of October, the person's usually there finishing up business, getting rid of product, cleaning the minnow tanks, whatever, after the season.
I think
Because
that
we
should be
require them to
included
have-
because it's not listed at all in this, and it makes it sound like they're getting paid incorrectly.
And I think that's kind of coming back to me a little bit. So the 2 weeks of March and the 2 weeks of November equals that final payment that you have. It's just given in November. But like I said, that can be changed if you want it.
Just to clarify the contract.
Right.
That's probably not a
Please.
bad idea.
Absolutely.
I hate to table it again, but it sounds like we do need to, just because we need to clarify dates and payment dates to make sure that the contract doesn't put us in somewhere.
So these are the only two we're considering though, even
These are
though
the
we
only two
do
that we
table it
consider.
because it's past.
Yeah, it's past the submission
Okay.
date, so these are the only options. So we want clarifications on dates.
And on the all goods sold line, what that means,
And definition of that.
what is that?
Now, on the
What do you-
clarification of dates, technically you guys want the numbers of the entire year brought in at the end in November.
The summary here.
Correct. So that makes it into November that we still need to be out into the bait shop. So that would clarify why there needs to be that November payment.
And then things begin in March.
Right. So I mean, yeah, and we're not disagreeing with that. I think
The
we just need to
contract's not reflecting that.
Yeah, the contract, we just want the contract dates
Actually,
to
it
show that.
does, because,
What?
well, my contract,
I'm
his
not-
contract does. The operator shall present to the Eskridge City Council at the second meeting in November the total revenue collected for permit sales for the year. So that means in November that they still have to be out there to gather that information to present to you guys those numbers.
In reality, the bottom line's the same. We're paying them the same.
Yeah.
I really don't see what difference it makes how many payments we make on it. And by stretching it out through November, that gives you more time to take in a little more money.
That's fine.
Pay that. I don't think it's a problem.
Okay.
That and the all goods sold thing.
Should reflect only those portions which relate to the city.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I understand that.
Sales would not count.
I guess maybe what I'm asking is if it would be possible to get some kind of from whoever is decided here to get it tonight, if they'd give us some figures.
Well, that was the plan because it would help us to know what to pay the contract operator and what the job's bringing. Because like I said, they do run their business out there, whoever it is, and we pay all the bills. We pay their internet, we pay their electric,
No, I
we
understand
pay all of that. So like, it's,
But you don't pay their,
You don't pay the help.
you don't pay the work comp and all those types of things that come in there with it.
correct.
And so, I guess my
What
question,
they,
it'd
what
be
we
nice
pay
to
them,
know,
they pay people.
be nice
for.
to know, if it's even feasible for a person to run it over and above what we're paying them. Because if you don't sell 20 candy bars and you're paying an employee
That's
for,
yes.
you know what I'm saying?
I didn't dive in to give you the figures and do all of that work like I've done for
No, but-
3 or 4 years, but the lake and the camping and the bait shop, it's in the red. It's been in the red for multiple years. I've been saying that for multiple years. I brought the numbers in multiple times. Each and every year, it's been in the red, not making any money.
Not making the city any money?
No.
I
No.
don't believe that, Brett.
Okay.
I thought we've increased almost every year. 54,000.
I've seen
Julie
some-
has increased the take-in every year by $10,000 to $20,000
So did-
since she's had the
So did Deb
contract.
and Dave.
No,
All three
no, they
have
did not.
increased the
The
income.
reason I don't believe it is I
Yes.
don't believe that 7
They have.
people or 5 people are sat around here and pay somebody $30,000 when they know they're only taking in 20. Get what I'm saying? I just don't believe there'd be 5 people that would do that, would there? I mean, that don't make any sense.
I'm gonna tell you there are. I mean, you have only been to the meetings the last year really regularly, but the
Yeah.
meetings prior to that, I've brought them in the years past and have stated the totals, stated that we're losing money, had what we pay in utilities, what we pay in the contract, what we pay for the maintenance, all of that, and it does not add up. We were losing money. Like I said, I didn't do it this year, so maybe we didn't this year. I don't know. But I'm telling you, in prior years, yes. And I've made sure that that has been in minutes. Going back to how crucial it is to have information in the minutes documented. Those were stuff I had put in old minutes.
I don't know about the rest of you. I don't have a problem with handling this tonight.
You can make a
So
motion.
who
we
has
can
gone
keep
out there this
discussing.
year to check out the bake shop or see how it's been run and stuff? Has anybody been personally out there?
I've been a couple of times. Well, you and I spoke about the railing out front, and we've gone out and looked at several things. So yes.
If it's a bid, I think it's pretty well cut and dried, personally.
I would disagree because of the extensive amount more money that your current one has done for 4 years straight. So, I mean,
But
the
you
proof
asked
is
for bids,
in-
Brett. You asked for bids. That's the way it was published in the paper.
there's a $1,500 less bid. You think that doesn't cover the 4 years experience that the person had? You don't think that the experience should add them extra money? And I mean, the second contract was based off Julie's contract with $100 less bid to it. So that person had an advantage of knowing and out underbidding it $100. Like, come on, you can kind of see some under the stuff here, Payday. You can't deny that. Come on.
It didn't say to the lowest bid that you were taking bids.
It
to
did
the
not
lowest
say to the
bid.
lowest bid.
No, I understand you don't have to give it to the lowest bidder. Nothing says you do. But I think there's other things involved as well.
Please elaborate. I'll move to give the contract to Julie Bisnet for the 30,000.
Let's have some discussion on it then.
Absolutely.
Well, I've heard a lot of complaints from people out there. And when I say a lot, I'm talking multiple, about how the bait shop is run, the condition of it, the way that she handles things and her person. I'm not going to go into detail on that, but there is complaints from people being out there on stuff that's happened out there.
So you've been out there.
I'm
to look
talking
and-
about people have told
Okay.
me about it.
So you're just going off hearsay, right?
Didn't you
On what
guys bring
somebody
in?
said, because you've had opportunities to go out
pictures?
and check it out firsthand yourself. That's what I'm saying.
You want me to just give you some blunt details?
Sure, give me blunt details.
I mean, people have told me that she goes out there outside and squats and uses the bathroom, don't go to the bat. Right in front of God and everybody out there. There's other things going on out there, and people don't like that. They think that her actions are inappropriate.
But none of them have come in to complain.
I'm just telling you what they told me. They don't think that she's an adequate bait shop operator because of the way that she handles herself.
Okay, so then the second contract that's here that you're considering as well, we all know that this is frauding the government.
Excuse me.
That has no, I'm sorry, but
That's
that has
not our
no,
issue.
yeah, it's not our issue.
Slander that man.
That's the
That's not his
inappropriate
issue.
allegation.
Not when your
our issue.
daughter directly says that's exactly what she's doing. Mary Jane, is this worth
You're
losing
opening
some of your
yourself up
benefits
for
or
a big
anything
problem,
for?
Brett. You need
Like,
to not.
I mean, we've had
You're threatening
conversation.
me,
I'm not
and that's
threatening
not
you.
fair.
That's what information you
Here's my
told
issue.
me.
This is absolutely not an appropriate thing to say out loud at the table. It's not appropriate to make these allegations. So let's
They're
please
not
keep it
allegations.
respectful.
She's literally told
That is
me.
not,
Tim Wine sat here and said the same thing.
that
at the
is
last
not,
already been
meeting.
said
that
it
is
was
not our
inappropriate.
business.
Okay.
That is
Oh, yeah.
not our
Hold it
business,
down.
period.
No. that is
Period.
not our
It's a
business.
contract. That's it.
Yep. And I personally think that,
I have a motion with no second.
I believe that's correct.
Okay. The motion dies for lack of second.
Narrows it down.
You guys want to make any other motions, or we can also table this for more information? Those are the options. We can also reopen it. That's a third. So if you guys need more time, obviously this is the first meeting.
Well, I'd
Two
move we
people.
give the contract to John Walker.
Okay, there's a motion. Any seconds? Motion dies for lack of a second.
I move we table it till the 22nd.
Motion to table the permit office contract to the 22nd. Any seconds?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second by Clay Camlin. Sorry, I'm on doing full names. Clay and Jason, getting too formal now. To December 22nd, pending further review. All in favor? All in favor? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Housing Authority. Dolly.
Hi, I became aware that you transferred the $100,000 to the Housing Authority that's in effect right now, and that's a mistake. When, we went through the process of selling the building, there was, I was always understood, and it's in the paperwork that I have, that was going to go to the city. And so I'll share with you guys some of this paperwork. Let's see, payday, if you will take one and then pass over to Brett, and to the council people and the mayor. And then you see that.
Dolly, we've been over this with Todd. and
Todd is mistaken. He has,
everything
you need to look at the
is
paperwork,
legit.
Brett, look at the paperwork.
Annie, do you remember going over this with Todd and him stating what it was?
I haven't even looked at it, so I could.
No, what Todd decided. I mean, you were here, we decided it. It's been over a year. So, do you remember, Jason?
I do.
Could you explain to Dolly for me, please?
I remember we talked about it.
There's one copy. I don't
The sale of the building started in 2017, and there were quite a few stipulations and meetings that we had to hold with different people. And so the person that I hired as the real estate agent, and myself and the people that were at the state helped me for 2 years. We had the state would put it on sale. And if they could sell it and take care of all the debts and stuff, then they would. They put it at $500,000 or $1 million. They knew it wouldn't sell. And then it came back to the city. And so we had a conference call with Todd and the different the Fred Bentley, and there was a Harris that was on it. And they told us what we would have to do on that conference call to get that building prepared to come out of low income and into a regular type rental business that we could sell. But it was going to take years, and it did. It took 4 years. It took a lot of time. And to help us understand what we're doing, Todd Luckman wrote a memorandum right there. And that tells you there's nothing in there about it. You have it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm making sure I can say
Yeah. It says nothing about the housing authority getting the money. It was all about the city. There's different ways that it could be done. He listed off 3 different ways that it could be done. And one of the ways was the city could continue operating it for another 15 years. And then at that time it would come off of that. Well, I couldn't find anybody that would run it, and I wasn't going to run it because I'd run it for free for quite a few years. I was at the beginning of it when it was supposed to be assisted living, which I could have used this year. Could use it right now. But anyway, so because of that, and then I was surprised I watched a couple of meetings where Todd was talking about the housing authority didn't have to be appointed by anybody, that they didn't have to come to the council and present people to be on it. Now, that may be the way it was now, but that's not how it was 20 years ago because there was money involved. There was grants involved. And so for the housing, and I was audited every freaking year. I shouldn't say we were audited. Richard Johnson, Randy Kemp, and myself, Dan Turnbull, we started it all. And then through all those years, every year we were audited, and that's on record. When it went off and away from the state and we were selling it the last few years, Connie Kemp, thank God for her, was helping me with the paperwork, and she worked with her last name was Ice and sent her the paperwork so she could keep track of the money because we didn't have enough money. And there's times that we had to come to the city and borrow money, but that was all paid back when we sold the building. And so it all went on, and we did I think it was the number 2 suggestion that Todd had written out here. I'm kind of sorry that he wasn't here because I thought I could help remind him of what he had written. But anyway, this explains what it went through, and nowhere did it say anything about the housing authority would get it, which is why that check was turned over to the city.
So the housing authority exists now. And there's how much money does the housing authority have in their control? $114,000.
The city transferred
No,
that $100,000.
$8,000.
You see,
And who oversees that?
The housing
Where's the
authority.
checking and balance on that
Yeah.
system?
Where's the oversight? Who oversees it?
What do you mean who oversees it? We have a
I
board.
had the state oversight, doing oversight on me. Who's doing oversight on you?
Dolly, nobody did any oversight on you. Let me give you a little
Oh,
history
really?
here.
Well, wait a minute, Brett. Before you go into all that history, I just have a question
Okay,
there.
yeah.
What is the function of the housing authority? Is it for low income housing? It's for low income housing is my understanding. Am I wrong?
Carrie, would you like to address payday?
Sure. So, no, if it is part of the housing authority, like HUD, then that would be accurate. Right now, the basic idea is to get affordable housing for people, to move into Eskridge and build lives and families.
So what's the difference?
The difference is what you would consider affordable. HUD is set up to where the federal government helps pay part of the rent, or HUD helps pay the rent or the program.
So
for
that's
extremely low income.
Let me give you an example. If the housing authority was to build a duplex that cost $300,000 and some and rent it for $1,500 per side per month, would that be part of the housing authority job?
Yes.
But that's approximately what it costs to build a duplex, right? So you got $100,000, so you've got no way to fund it. So can you even build a house for $100,000? Let me answer that for you. No. So
Right,
I
so
don't see
there are a lot
any
of-
function for the housing authority, and I would move at this point, put the housing authority on the agenda for the January 2nd meeting. January 12th, I'm sorry, January 12th meeting.
You just want to add it to the.
Add it to the agenda for January 12th.
Could I back
Should the
this
housing
up?
authority lawyer be here present for that?
Wait, I have a really good suggestion.
Because the
here.
housing authority has their separate
No, I
lawyer
still
who
have
has
the
set
form.
everything up for the housing authority that the housing
Just a
authority is
second.
paid for.
I guess not.
So, are you requesting him to be here as well?
I don't care who's here, Brett.
Okay.
Not with what I got in mind, making no difference.
Oh,
who's
so you
there.
want the money? That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that.
Seems as
The
like you
attorney-
do.
The
I'm
attorney
saying that
outlined
there's
it all.
no viable reason to have it. I want it on the agenda.
We're a board, and you cannot.
We're our own
disform us.
entity. We
We're our
don't belong
own
with you.
entity.
Then how did
Because
this,
you
then how did the
have-
mayor
Have no
appoint
checks
your
and
members?
balances and no
Then
authority.
how
Our
did
board
that-
has no checks and balances. Is on Annie on here doing that? You're not doing anything on that. And by the way, I'm on that board too. So, I mean, come on.
He wants the money.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Dolly,
What I was going to suggest, and I can talk just as loud as you can, so listen to me. I was
You don't
gonna
speak
say
to me
it
that
should
way.
have stayed with the city. I would have liked it to stay with the city, and then the housing authority that you guys developed could come to the city and say, hey, we're gonna try and get a matching grant with the state and use some of that money. Can we use some of that money for that? Because $100,000 isn't gonna get you anything. It wasn't gonna, when I wrote the state a really nice letter so that they would forgive us for $180,000 that we owed them, and I did that by myself, and you guys.
without
haven't
any
got-
authority to you unilaterally made decisions when there was a board and went behind board members' back. You picked a
three
realtor,
meetings,
you
Brad.
listed it, you picked the price. Not a single council member, mayor, or Todd knew about it, and he stopped us and said it was in the best interest to let it go and to defend you, and we let it go. But then let's go back to the other misappropriation of funds there too, Dolly. You came in here and said you wanted to give us severance checks in November, or in January. You came in and asked permission to do that. Todd, our lawyer, told you you couldn't do that. That's against the law. You had to fill out things. Why didn't you in that moment confess that you had already wrote those 2 checks in November and December? You sat there quiet. You are not a trustworthy person. So don't sit there and act self-righteous like you are. Okay? You don't want the people on the housing authority to have it. No, that's all facts, honey. All
Don't
facts.
you honey me.
Okay, let's calm down.
Anyway,
Take a
that
breath.
was gonna
I
be
think
my
we're misrepresenting
suggestion.
a little bit because we did actually discuss the real estate and many of those items in council meetings. I was on council at that time. I do remember Todd's conversation last year. I wasn't sure what you were talking about when you said that. I have Todd on the phone now. Did we have some questions for him? If we need them.
Listening in, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
You might have to talk loud, but yes.
Okay, well, here's the deal. Remember, I think generally what Dolly's saying is correct as far as what we started out doing. The discussion we had later was the nature of what the housing authority is as a nonprofit corporation. That changed the ground on which we were working. In that, my explanation was, and I'd have to review my notes to get details of what exactly went on, but since that city is a separate nonprofit corporation, the money could not have gone to the city without, the whole thing folding and, at that point. But it wasn't, they were seeking to obtain a method of doing low-income housing. That was the purpose of the corporation. So when those funds came back in, that was the purpose. So it wasn't, certainly while we were talking about it, we thought the city would get the money. But it turns out that was improper because of the corporate status.
So the housing authority is like a 501c3?
No.
No, I can't recall what technically it's not a 501c3, but it is a limited purpose nonprofit organization, meaning it's set up under statute, under a separate statutory scheme. Like you have corporations under Chapter 17. This one's set up in a different part of the code than a regular corporation, but it's still a public service corporation, and it's solely dedicated to the purpose of supplying low-income housing or senior housing, if you will, to people, and that's because of that, it's got a special status. And the city is not technically entitled under that because of that status. It is authorized to control by appointment to that board who sits on the board, but other than that, it's not. The funds are its own.
If it's not beholden to the city at all, then how is the mayor the one that appointed the seats?
Well, it is beholden to the city because the statute says the mayor appoints. Okay,
The mayor,
Control.
the mayor appoints by suggestion of the housing board, correct? That's what you had said before.
Yeah, and I have to look at the statute because that thing's kind of a tortured mess. I've been through it about 3 times, but I know that the control is, I don't know if the board, I can't recall what the board of the housing authority has was authority. I'm pretty sure that the mayor just appoints. And I'm going off a little memory myself here. I'm just sitting in my basement, so without my files.
So Todd, Don Rush here.
Yeah.
In your opinion, is there any viable reason to have a housing authority in Eskridge, Kansas?
Well, I think that's probably for the housing authority to decide in some respects because the corporate entity itself has to decide if it can fulfill its charter. Meaning
Okay.
it was created for a purpose and they can, I mean, certainly I think that,
They sold the purpose.
yeah, well, and if they want to get it, but if they have another concept in mind, then they can do that. I don't think the city controls that offhand to say to an independent corporation what it needs to do with the money. I'm certainly, I can take another look at it because it's been a year before since we talked about this. But I thought the idea was that you can't really argue about the purpose of it being for low-income housing when everything that's in there now is because of it. And all the money that we've got there is because it sold the low-income housing entity, or building.
So the housing authority could disband herself, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they could revoke their charter and close. Yeah, if the housing authority board says so, I suppose there's no perpetual existence if they want. But I have no clue why that they've said so. I don't recall them coming forward to the board to the council for a while, which makes sense.
Not once, I don't think.
I'm gonna ask, council, there's some previous housing authority people here, I'll ask them a question.
We're not previous, we're current. Current, now current.
He was previous.
Okay.
I was on the board with Dolly
when
she made all the decisions herself.
Okay, so who's our current here now?
I
Marcia,
just got on,
you had a meeting?
Not yet. I just got appointed last Monday.
Okay.
So Marcia,
Did you
Brett.
guys have meetings?
Yes. We have had meetings, yes. She's on it, I'm on it, Becky's on it.
You reappointed the last meeting.
What?
You just reappointed.
No, we appointed 3 other members
Becky
because
Cox.
we were
Becky
running
Cox,
to run,
yeah.
and Becky Cox is also appointed on.
Oh, so you didn't transfer, you just additioned them?
We additioned because we wanted to have more than 4
Misunderstood
people
that.
because Lisa used to be the 4th one and she had resigned. And so we wanted to have more than 3.
So we could get more
Did you
done.
guys understand that way?
I did, yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I
I knew
misunderstood that
already.
part.
So there's currently
Yeah, but-
6 of us now,
Okay.
which is the
Well,
same
sure.
amount as the park board runs with 6 members.
But the park board is a board of the council and reports to the council. And you're saying that you guys don't have to do that and you don't need
There's no
any
oversight.
oversight?
We didn't say that.
It's a state statute.
What's the
They
state
said,
statute?
we didn't say, and we, from
The
the
housing
beginning, we
authority? Not
report
even
to you
under
when we were
HUD.
doing stuff, did we
Right,
not?
we're not.
Yes, I mean,
Special.
we're not trying to hide anything. We even made 3 signatures for checks.
What Todd
So like, we're
explained.
trying to be as
What
open
statute? I wanna
I'm
know.
not-
and transparent. We
That
donated to the
$100,000.
park board to make sure that they got their grant. We donated $1,500.
I'm not accusing you of doing anything wrong. I'm
He's-
asking you.
He's
what
saying
your
there's just
function
no
are and if
oversight.
you have any plans to do anything with it.
Yes, we actually have several things in work. We've had to wait for some of the federal money to federal grants and things to be readjusted according to the laws and the new executive orders and whatnot. So we're just now starting to get back into those. There's several different projects that we're looking at that would house veterans. I don't know, just a lot of options we've looked at. So weatherization grants, things like that. But we've had to wait on the federal government to do their flipping and things that the federal government does, you know.
So what you're saying is be another 3 years before you can do it.
Yeah, right.
I got it.
Okay, back to what I was talking about. That money was to go to the city, and the city could, and the pitch wrote to the, let's see, whichever MG, I can't even think of what department it was. They were going to have a meeting, and what I asked for is forgiveness of the $180,000 loan that we hadn't even started on paying yet, because we had to pay off the previous loan on the assisted living part. And so what they did is they said that they would take 1/4 of whatever profit we got, if we got a profit off of selling that building. Well, I did. And we did, because I had a really good real estate guy, and we priced it at a good price. $235,000, I think, is what we finally sold it for. And then all the different monies that came out, and we paid back the city, we paid back the state, did all that. But the money was to come to the city. Now, if the city wanted to use it to help the housing authority that developed itself or became alive on its own, because I wanted to dissolve my housing authority because I was done. And so I wouldn't have minded that, as long as there was oversight. In other words, if they came to you and asked, said, this is a project we had, can we use this money for that? But
There was no
housing,
oversight when you were the president of the housing
there
authority.
was
That is
oversight.
so that you would request that of anyone else when you gave that
Let's
to no
back
one.
up here a minute. Let's back up here a minute. It sounds to me like at this point that it's a mute. It's a
It
mute
is.
point.
It is.
Because what he's saying is that the housing authority has that money and they have a legal obligation to function. I still question whether there's a need for it, but that's just my opinion. But I think it's a done deal. The city's already gave them the money, and there's a damn thing we're going to do about it.
But they were advised to transfer it to him because they had the misconception that it was.
You're
supposed to
missing
be
the
housing.
point. It's a done deal, and there's nothing we can do about it.
You can ask for
There's no
that.
misconception.
Are you for oversight? What does he say?
Todd,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do you
What'd you
say?
say, Todd?
I said there was no misconception about it, except for on the city's part, because we didn't. If there was an idea that the city was going to retain that money, it was because the thought was that it had a right to it when it didn't. The one with the right to it is the corporation. It always did.
I really hope that tonight's conversation really puts this to rest. We have paid Todd 4 or 5 times to go over this and over this and over this, and some people will not let it die from their personal vendettas. And here we are again, including Todd into a meeting, gonna be paying him for it. Once again, this is the 5th time. So I pray that this is the end of it. Like, I'm sorry. Answers that you wanted? Like, that's what we have gone
You are
over
such
this.
a bully.
I am not a bully,
You
Dolly.
are. You didn't come to the meetings. that we
I
had.
understand it.
I was going to those housing authority meetings before Deanne appointed you onto that. Okay.
No, I was
Yes,
on it from
that's
the
how it
very
was.
beginning.
Okay, we're in the
Come on.
weeds. I do have a question that's actually valid. If we're using the articles of incorporation to determine the rules of the housing authority, are you guys incorporated? Because what the state says is no. Your state's
did you
paperwork
file-
is not correct then. It's filed incorrectly. It's not incorporated.
We have an attorney that's working on getting that all straightened out. It was not filed correctly.
No, it was filed correctly from the beginning
well,
because it
somebody's-
was a partnership.
Somebody's done
But when it was
something, yeah.
transferred over, it was not changed from a partnership. It just didn't list it correctly. So now it's a partnership with nobody. So one can only assume that it's still the city on the other side of that partnership, not just the housing authority. So I'm confused because yes, your paperwork is wrong. I think that's why these questions keep coming up. You are registered as a limited partnership and we're using articles of incorporation rules to define your rules. And I'm questioning that because that's not how they're lined out. Limited partnerships have a different set of rules, not the articles of incorporation. That's a totally different level of business to sit on. So I question these things because when it was renewed, when you guys joined the board, it was not changed from a limited partnership. It was just renewed late. I mean, it had died off by this point. So if you don't know that, that's something that needs to be corrected or fixed completely, taken out. In my opinion, if it's not going to be done right, then it shouldn't be done.
Yeah, we have an attorney that's addressing it.
And then if we're not actually for low income housing, I would highly suggest changing your name. Because if you're not going to operate as a housing authority, then you should not present as a housing authority.
Exactly, that's my point.
That's, I think, an issue. Because you're saying, no, it's not necessarily low income. Todd is saying it is low income. That's what's putting you
Well,
on
no,
this.
what I meant was that it's not low income by HUD standards. HUD is not part of it.
Right.
It's
That's
not
something
gov-
you apply for later, though.
Yeah.
But they still manage
It's not
housing
government
authority.
subsidized at this point.
Right.
Correct.
It's just $100,000 sitting there floating freely out there in the middle of nowhere.
And I don't think it's wrong for people on the city council to question oversight on this. Because yes, we have had issues in the past, potentially, whatever. You
Okay,
guys are saying.
So Todd's saying you don't have oversight. And do you have oversight over the lumberyard?
So if we
Or
don't
do you
have oversight over you,
over
then
the
why did
cafe?
we have it over Dolly?
It's not public money.
Yeah.
This is public money. There's
Right.
a hell of a
But
difference.
the state, it falls under
Terry questioned
a
things with
state
oversight with
authority
the park
more than you
board, and
guys.
he just got attacked for it by different ways that we've spent money that
quite a
costed more
generalization.
than other things. I mean, he got quite a lot of slack for it.
Well, that's public money as well.
Right.
A lot of it is.
And none of it's spent without the city council's approval.
The city was the general partner.
Annie, that's not true. We make decisions and come to the council after the fact.
We don't
do
spend the
that.
money
We do
until
that.
city council approves
We
it.
do that.
I'm sorry, Todd, say it again.
I think, as I recall, the city was the general partner of the partnership. That's a different method of authority, but
for
it
that
was
building.
a partner.
Correct, but it's still listed as a partner with no secondary partner
Yeah.
or
well,
percentage
it
of
had-
ownership, to be honest.
it
It's
had
not
a
even filled out right.
Secondary partner in the sense that it was in a partnership with the company that ran the tax credits back before it sold.
Yeah, it was in that partnership with that private company, and when they sold it, or when they handed it off to Dolly, it was between the city and the housing authority. Now it's like in limbo incorrectly.
Well, I can grab the file, and I've got the original file in my office.
Okay.
I can bring it next time, and we can continue the argument.
What did he say?
He can bring it next time and we can continue the argument, he supposes. Do you want it on the agenda for the next meeting payday?
So I
or
just
the
have one
first
more
one
question
in
about it.
January? I was in the middle of speaking.
I would like to have it on the 12th of January.
Okay.
Deal with it in the new year.
Well, I'm not gonna, you guys want me the first one there with the file, or you want me to just give you the file? How does that work? If I'm not gonna.
Why don't we trade you in January first meeting if you're able to?
Yeah, okay. I'll try to remember.
Or we can
Remind me next time.
delay a little bit as well. All right, I'm gonna let you go if we're done with Todd.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you. I think we've sufficiently beaten this horse to death, so we should probably.
I just want to
continue.
know what
I'm
your
sorry, go ahead.
ideas for the 100,000 is that you want. I mean, you want it for something. What do you want it for?
I mean, I would love for your board to come up with ideas, but I would also love oversight over how you're spending it. That's not an unreasonable request. I think it's pretty
But Todd
logical.
had said we didn't have
It
to
is
give
if
you
we don't owe
oversight.
you that.
Well,
And we had been coming to you
Gonna
multiple
get
times. and then Todd told
$100,000
us
and
that-
no oversight. Oh my God.
Okay,
Well,
let's
here-
move on.
okay.
Let's move on.
Thank you.
I think
I
it's,
Do I need
thought
to
Todd was
go
gonna be
over
here
the whole
tonight.
bank accounts and the
Hey,
housing
did
authority
you,
out loud
when you
again?
took the furniture out of the apartments, you know, and carried it in
Okay.
front of the bank,
I've already said we're moving
was
on.
that stealing?
I didn't do. What are you
Oh
talking
my
about?
goodness. No.
we're gonna have everybody
Enough.
removed here in just about a minute. You guys don't knock it off.
Okay. We don't have anything under other continuing council business. So,
I have some stuff.
okay, mayor,
You
council
get tired of
concerns.
talking to me probably. As you and I discussed, I talked to them, and this is continuing because of Jason's.
Oh.
Sweet, what'd I do?
You know what you did.
Because of Jason's, talking about $40,000 for the, get the
Oh,
sheriff's department, those types of things, okay. I talked to the sheriff, and he knows that I talked to her, make sure it's okay with her. And he is tentatively set to come and talk to us on the 12th of January about how they're set up with Maple Hill and what that requires and all that stuff. That's the reason I've got, okay. They are willing to set that up and work it out with us. Okay, along with that, and I talked to Annie about this, and she gave me permission, so to speak, to contact Scott Hess. He's the city attorney for Maple Hill and some other cities, and to talk to him because he's familiar with all of that stuff. I personally think that we need to make a change in that area. And kind of incorporate that all together with the sheriff's department and Hess and those types of things. Something I want you to think about between now and January 12th. Annie and I've discussed this. She gave me permission to pursue it. So that is something that I want to, I'd like to have us all take a look at.
I gotta figure out. I want to make a survey because I know there was some question about whether everybody was bought in on having a sheriff's department or a police department for the city. So I'd kind of like to put out a survey and find a good way to do that, just to see how much buy-in we've got from the city.
I really do think that you ought to give people the percentage of what their houses are going to cost, because
if we do the tax
people's
thing,
increases could be $500.
I know
some could be 40.
No.
This isn't, we
There's-
haven't decided how to
we-
fund
I don't
it.
think we're
We haven't
gonna
even
have
decided to
raise
have it, let her
taxes
know.
to do it.
Yeah.
That's the reason I want them guys to come in here and explain what they need, because I think we've already got most of it. They provide everything with the vehicle. We need to get their ideas of what a vehicle consists of. We got two sitting right out here in the side. We can use.
$40,000, I thought, was the equal to 3.5 hours a day. Was that right? 7 days a week, it was 3.5 hours. $40,000.
It's also an
by the
estimate.
Now,
estimations
yeah,
that we
but
got would get 3.5 hours a
If
day.
you will let them explain it, it consists of a lot of things that they do. They enforce codes. They do all of that stuff. And that's the reason that a lot of these cities and these towns in the Wabaunsee County have got cleaned up because they have outside personnel doing it. And I've talked to Sally about that. And one of the problems that she has is she has no authority to evict people from their house when they shouldn't be living there.
And are they, when you call them, are they open to come out and do that?
Their excuse is we have to give them 72 hours and they cannot force them to leave.
There you go.
So, Sheriff.
But I
That's
welcome
what the
Sheriff
sheriff
Sheriff.
said.
I'm just saying it's something I want you to consider, because that's the way the other cities in this area, in this county, have cleaned themselves up.
Maple Hill.
Alta Vista
Alta
done
Vista.
it 25 years ago. Paxico done it multiple years ago. Them places used to be a dump just like this, Brett, but now they're not.
Katie, we had a cop. Did that stop when we had the cop?
Wasn't one of the complaints with the officer that he knew everybody?
It wasn't
This
just
would be
that
a
officer that
rotation of
you're
different
speaking of. We've had
officers.
multiple officers.
I'm not going to argue with you about it. I want them to come in here and present it. And I want to get that on the agenda for the 12th of January. It's not an argument. I just want to take a look at it.
Another thing is, Brad, I have only had one officer ever try to come down here and help me. I called up there and left messages and never got a phone call back from him.
I know. I know.
So
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
you can't just go by one officer's opinion, what he says either. But I do think if we had more help from them, I could go a little farther.
And they wouldn't be acting the way I understood he explained it to me, and let him explain it to you, but just to throw it out there, they wouldn't be acting under county authority. At that point, they would be city employees authorized to do city actions.
And I know some of the guys from Maple Hill, I dealt with them when we picked up trash over there, and they're stern. And they go by the city codes. They don't always go by what the county says too. They don't mess around with them.
Maybe having the attorney come and tell you, because I called Maple Hill all those months ago when we talked about that, and Jason and I had conversations on it. And she says the city pays for everything. They just have their own gun. They buy the badge or they buy the shirt that they put it on. The badges, the insurance, the radio. So
City does, or
Maple Hill does, and they pay for the maintenance, the gas, the tires, all of that.
And I thought that's what that one guy.
And that's what this
That's
clerk
when they
said.
came in and said the exact same thing. They've all
We-
said the same
We
thing.
would be
Maybe
responsible for the
shipper now.
vehicle.
The thing
Insurance
is
is covered
we want
elsewhere.
coverage and law enforcement. The thing is where's the money coming from? And we have nothing to sacrifice to get there. So, and I don't think
You
raising
can't tell by
15 mils.
what this budget is that you got, that you look at every day. All of this stuff, you don't have a clue where you got money and where you don't have money. It's a damn joke.
Okay, I'm gonna write it in because we're gonna
Don't
put this
tell-
on the
don't
agenda
pretend to
for
tell
a
me what
future
I know and don't know,
conversation.
Payday.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any council concerns? I do have some things myself, so don't cut me off too quick.
Real quick, Michelle and I did meet. We went over the issue with Barry. We both agreed that we should overturn the mayor's decision to suspend him. We believe that the mayor overstepped his authority and sidestepped the council's authority by adapting policy, which is our business, not the mayor's, as a council. So we believe that he overstepped his authority in that regard because it's not written in the policy. I think it's probably a good idea to have something like that written in the policy, and I would like to continue doing that. As a matter of fact, I'd like a volunteer to join the board with me since Michelle is off council now. And I'd like to ask if you could talk to the full-time maintenance workers, full-time employees, any of the full-time employees, and find an advisor volunteer to help us with the handbook, employee handbook, to give us employees' perspective. They'll be strictly advisory. We will still maintain supervisory authority.
Okay. I think you need to make a
So-
motion to take.
So
or I
let
guess
me
have the-
clarify what you're asking. You want
I'm sorry.
somebody on.
One thing we need to actually get under control is audience interruption. So please raise your hand if you have a question, but wait to be called on because it is really the council's job to talk here tonight. It's public, but it's not open for everybody to just talk. So please let them finish and then maybe we can answer questions, maybe not. Go ahead.
So what you're wanting is a council person to interact with the employees to see
So-
what their ideas are, to negotiate with them.
Yeah, more or less. So
I've got a lot of negotiating.
I kind of thought you might be a good choice for that. But Annie created the supervisory board and put Michelle and myself on it at the last meeting. Michelle's obviously stepping down from the council now. So I would like another partner from the council to join me on that supervisory board. And I'd like to have, and we'll be the employee supervisors and we'll be responsible for updating the employee handbook. And I would like to have an employee representative for their perspective.
So will you be taking into consideration the reprimanding for the use of flipping somebody off?
Yes.
A customer.
As a matter of fact,
Yes.
I fully
Yeah,
intend,
definitely.
I've got it written in my little notebook so I can talk to Marcia afterwards.
Yeah, I got a note about that.
Yeah, because it's an employee issue, which is not a public issue.
Okay, so you can make a motion if Payday's your volunteer, if anybody else.
I mean, I'd be glad to do it if you would, but I'd like to do it with the understanding that we'll be meeting, and I'd like to meet with all of them actually on their company time, so to speak.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would move that you appoint Payday to join me on the.
I think you just need to add him to your committee at this point.
I'll just add you to my committee at this point.
So move to, and then you need a second. I mean,
My second.
okay. Jason has made a motion to add Payday to the advisory board,
I just
supervisory
have a
board.
comment.
Yeah.
I've done this when I was mayor, and some of the things I brought up they didn't like. I'll try to do better this time.
As long as we're listening.
You're older and wiser, right?
Communicating. Second by Joe. Do we have any further discussion on that?
I'm still gonna stand out that I don't think that two people ought to be just in charge of all of this when there's three people, other people that have been voted in on this council and a mayor as well. I don't think that that's right.
Actually,
Excluding people out of it.
Two people is more than was previous because it was actually the mayor. So
That's the reason I use term
That's the committee.
negotiations, and we can bring that back to you and discuss it
Yeah.
in executive session.
But what if I don't trust you?
That's just tough crap. I don't trust you either.
I mean, I ought to have the right to have the opinion on it and stuff and know how it's getting to that. And I can't trust that. I mean, I can't. I mean, can I tell you why, Annie?
Sure.
You sat in the post office listening to Payday slander me and my mother, and she had to confront him about it, and you were in there. I can't trust Payday. He's
I never
publicly
slandered
put
you.
stuff on social media and Eskridge Watch slandering me. Why would I ever want to trust Payday Rush?
I never slandered her in the post office, and I'll be glad to discuss it with you personally outside
I
of
don't
this
want to
setting.
discuss anything personally with you, Payday. And
Well,
you
that's
cussing at my mom towards my mom in the post office is my last straw with you.
She was being belligerent to me, Brett, so I stopped it. Now let's
Belligerent.
stop
we
talking.
have a motion and a
Annie,
second on the
no.
floor.
Was my mom belligerent?
This is not an appropriate conversation for this. We are out of order.
Exactly.
I want to
We
know
can
the
talk about
answer.
it outside. It is not at council table.
We can.
It is out of order.
Okay.
You can ask me outside. We have a motion on the floor to add Payday to the supervisory board and a second by Joe. Any further discussion on this topic? All in favor?
I'll abstain.
And
I'm a no.
3 in favor, and I'm sorry, I'm getting used to this process. All in favor, against, Brett, okay.
One abstain.
My brain's
That is how it
thinking
is, but I don't think that's what you were meaning.
Sorry.
One nay.
3 in favor, 1 nay, yes, you got it. I just can't talk anymore, I'm done apparently.
We all have our moments.
Okay, this has been a fun meeting. Nice, easy one to start with. Anybody else have any council concerns or comments before I have mine?
I have one more. You knew I would. didn't you?
I can't cut them off technically.
That pertaining to code 1-212D and subsection 2. It's the use of public property. Says no official or employee shall request or permit the use of city-owned vehicles, equipment, materials, or property for public generally unless the public are generally allowed to do it as well. And while we're talking about not trust, you want to read that, Brett? The part I got highlighted.
You want me to read it out loud? The use
No,
of
I
public
just read it.
property, no official employee shall request or I mean, where are you going with this, Payday?
Why do some part-time city employees use city trucks for their personal gain? And I want to know if you're authorizing it.
Sally, since you're one of those part-time employees, has
No,
Terry
not that
authorized
part-time
you-
employee.
Not this part-time employee. You said part-time employee.
I
so
said one of the part-time employees.
I'm turning to Sally because she's a part-time employee, and I'm asking her, you've borrowed the city truck. Has Terry given you approval for that?
To drive.
so I could go home and come to work, but not for personal use. When he's gave me permission to take it home, he's stated you drive it home to get home from work, and you drive it back from home to get back to work, and that's it. Nowhere else.
And that's how it should be. I can't give anybody the approval to do anything payday. The mayor's the only
So
one
they
that can
just
do
take it
that.
on their own? Is that what you're telling me?
Who are you referring to?
On October 31st, Robin Baker filled the city truck with gas, went north out of town. The city truck never come back in. Asked Sally until the middle of the night on November 3rd. Sally needed a vehicle, couldn't find the keys to one, found them laying on the seat later.
So where are you coming? Like, why would
because
I know
I see
anything
you
about
riding
that?
around in the truck with her. So I want to know, why is she doing it? Is it something that you're allowing her to do, or is she
I don't
just something
allow
she
her
does?
to do anything.
Or is she doing it on her own?
I don't allow her to do anything. You would have to ask the former mayor if he gave her permission to use that for anything. You coming to me, I have no authority.
You're the one I see
over
riding with her,
Robin.
and I see her go down to your house to talk to you. So
You
don't
see
tell
her go down to she lives across the street from my house. She drives the truck to and from. Come on,
I mean,
Payday.
we're going to have a problem.
Point.
I'm going
I don't
to tell you
understand
right
what
off,
you're
we're
doing.
going to have a problem. And I'm going
I
to tell
already
you right
have a
now, the
problem.
bullshit is going to stop. Now, that's all I got to say.
Okay, Sally, what did you need?
I can understand some of the concerns that Payday has here, and I have a suggestion on this because as a part-time driver and drive these trucks, I have never filled out a mileage sheet. I've never filled out why I use the trucks. I think that's something that should be required.
I've been wanting all the employees to do that. I don't want to, and I won't enforce them.
As me as the bus driver, every day I have to write my destination, where I start, my mileage. Just like me driving the bus here, I have to get permission to stop here on my way back from a route before I go home. And they know that's what I do. I think that is something that as part-time, actually, well, not so much the full-timers, but as part-timers should require. Any other job I've worked at, I've had to do that. That way, this would help resolve some of these questions. How many miles we put on that truck a day, where we're going to and from. I think that'll resolve some of these issues. That's my opinion.
I would like to have one final thing, Annie, for Payday. To you insinuating that I do anything that is wrong with a city employee is absolutely ludicrous. You may see me riding around with Robin. Every single person in this room has probably seen me riding around with Robin in the city truck. But I take this job seriously. You how many times they've been out to the lake to look at stuff comparatively to me walked up and down that shoreline. I hand trained that public officer myself. Okay. So I am very involved and you're not going to find anybody that knows more information about out there than I do. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm defending myself against your baseless allegations. Okay. So I'm done with it, Payday. Of course, you're going to see me with Robin. I'm involved. You be involved too, and we can maybe work together, okay? So let's try to do that. But I'm not going to stand here and let you try to insinuate or slander anything about me, okay?
Okay. I'm going to move on.
Point taken.
Okay. On December 15th, there is the annual legislative session occurring at the St. John Lutheran Church Fellowship Hall at 10:30 in the morning. Sorry, my notes are a mess. Where Senator Dietrich and Representative Steele will be present as well as some staff from the federal delegations. All of the council is welcome to attend. I know that's kind of an oddball time and date, but
Where was it again?
it's at the St. John Lutheran Church at 10:30 in the morning.
South of the courthouse.
And it is on December 15th. There's a little bit of an informal conversation between everyone, and then I think they have a quick meeting afterward. It's just about an hour long. That was from Jim McGregor. I would like to bring up Christmas bonuses. It is December now. Usually we do a Christmas bonus for our full-time and part-time staff. That is not something that has been voted in yet. I think it's been $100 for full-time in the past.
I thought it was 150.
Do we bump it up to 150?
75 for part-time.
Okay.
And I'll move to do that again.
Second. Joe got it.
You got it.
A motion to do a $150 Christmas bonus for full-time staff and 75 for part-time staff. Just paid out on the next paycheck, I believe. However you guys do it. On the floor, all in favor? Okay, unanimous. Hold on, I got notes. Do you know, I should have asked you before, if the jeans stipend has been paid out this year? For the full-time
clothing
staff,
allowance?
the clothing allowance, yes.
So we paid one out to Robin.
We've not paid
That
it
was new,
full-time. It was supposed to be a yearly, and I don't think the full-time staff's.
They didn't get it at all before I came on.
If you could check it real quick,
Uh-huh.
but if you want to pay that out, I cannot remember the number now.
400.
400.
So if they haven't got it this year, you want it with the next paychecks?
Yes, please. It's supposed to be an automatic.
What'd you say, 400?
400.
Traditionally, the council has done a Christmas party. Do you guys have any interest in that? I'm just bringing it up. This is something that you would vote on. You could also change it into something else entirely. We can kind of talk about that or have the idea in your head. I'm just bringing it up because it's usually been discussed in about November.
And we would need to let Aisha or wherever know.
If you're doing it at a restaurant.
Do we
yes.
do we want to try like a potluck thing for the whole city?
I wouldn't be in favor of it unless you include all the employees. I think it's just craziness.
You mean for the whole town?
Why not?
Block party.
I think
Instead
that'd
of
be
block
fun.
party.
I'm talking
That might be crazy.
Town Christmas party. I think that'd be great.
I'm talking about the
Employees
Christmas
and
dinner.
yeah.
I don't see a point in having it just for these people around the table. I think the employees ought to be included too if you decide to have it. But
We have included the employees before.
How long ago was that?
I don't know. I just remember Drew being at the cafe.
Okay.
Like he's the only face I can remember.
Obviously,
That
we're
must have been a long time ago.
discussing it
Was that
pretty late,
Sunday?
so it'd probably be
I
January.
didn't. It's just
Okay.
council.
I know they did it when I worked here before because I was included
But
in the
the-
Christmas dinner.
Pay the employees are getting a bonus though. I mean, is that how it usually figures? You guys get a meal, we get a bonus.
That was the logic. Like I'm fine. I'm fine with not having it. That's totally okay.
You guys can think about it. Doesn't
Yeah,
have to
I
be
think about it.
tonight's decision. If it happens, it's a January.
I'd like to do a potluck. I think that would be fun.
All right.
And that's less costly.
Way.
How do we go about like getting more, like Christmas time, more color downtown and down the
First, we
street?
need to make sure that we change the bulbs because it's 3 years.
I think
burnt
it's
out.
time.
there's-
I think
there's
it's
the-
time for new ones.
Buildings with the windows up. It'd be cool to have Christmas trees sitting in those windows. And I know no one owns those or people may own those buildings.
Well, the city could sponsor a competition of some kind. I don't think it would be out of line, or the park
The
board.
chamber
or,
has done that. Did that before.
And the music Dean Downs used to play.
I know.
Amazing.
I did
Yeah,
that for a while
I do
too.
remember that.
Did you?
So Envision said that they would like to talk to the city about maybe going together for some decorations. But I
Yeah.
told her, I said
Okay.
you just need to get on the
Yeah.
agenda.
I did talk to her today. She was interested. She was like, I wanted it this year, but it just didn't happen. So she's got a lot. But and then this meeting has just served to further instill. I feel this council needs training in Robert's Rules of Order, or just however this is something that they do offer occasionally, or council excursion type things where you can go learn. I think we need that.
Who gives that training?
I would need to look into it. I think they do some. I'll do some research and dig in. But as long as you guys are interested in that, if we're not going to continue with Robert's Rules of Order, please tell me now, so I don't have to do a lot of research for something we're not going to use in the future.
I
But
think we need to, but I think because of past history, it's gonna be hard to shut it down for a little while, but I think we
it's
need to
gonna
work on it.
take some time for sure.
Carrie.
There's a lot of different options, not just Roberts, and that may even be more beneficial to you guys. So
Yes.
when you're maybe look at the other systems
Yeah, I was.
that are available.
I already took a little walk down the thing, but I just want to put that idea out there, see if you guys are interested in getting training. There is sometimes really events that we can attend to help us be better council and staff. So I think that's all for me. If you guys are done.
I want to go 5-minute executive session for non-elected personnel.
Why did this happen just now?
Well, this is part of my comment things. I mean, we don't have to, I can do it a thing, but it's pertinent to your little 2-person board information.
Oh. Okay, I guess make the motion, make it correctly, because Todd's not here to chastise us.
I move to go into executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel.
We're not gonna make any decisions out of that.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna adjourn immediately after this.
Mhm.
Okay, I just wanna make that clear, because I don't want these people to get upset because they've missed whatever happens after if they decide to go.
For the motion, you need to say who's allowed.
And I'm also including Becky in it.
This is a new thing
Is
that we're
Lisa
doing.
here?
No, she's not.
5 minutes, returning here.
Yes, you have to say where.
Starting at,
I was gonna bring my
I'm trying to remember everything Tanya was about.
It's 9:01 right now.
Starting at 9:02 for 5
I'm all
minutes, returning here at 9:07.
Yep.
All seconds.
Glad you have my locker locked in there.
No, it's yours. Take it. Sure enough.
That's just that.
You hang on till you die, Joe. That's what you do. Hope you have a fine.
But I do leave this here.
We always do later.
Okay.
Yeah, leave the binder there.
File what you think's pertinent and toss it around.
Hey, where's my old paperwork? Oh, my phone. I'm stressing.
I do
Some
want
stuff in there I wanted.
Hey, if Marcia's still floating around outside, can somebody ask her to wait until we get done? 'Cause I'm about to- Yeah, please.